The alternative was too frightening to contemplate. Would this be the last picture of Stacy in the family album? This, her last appearance on home video?
Stacy Kathleen McCall.
When I graduated, I had two of my classmates get killed in car wrecks that night. And I remember sitting there thinking, I wonder how many of these young people will not be here tomorrow, not thinking it would ever be happening to me, you know?
What happened to Stacy McCall also happened to her friend Susie Streeter and Susie's mother Cheryl. It's a mystery that haunts their families, their friends, and Sergeant David Smith of the Springfield Police Department. For 3 years, they've searched for these three women ever since graduation night, 1992.
We probably followed up somewhere around 4,000 leads. We've got about 14,000 pages of reports. We've talked to dozens and dozens of people. We've conducted around 200 formal interviews, and we're still no closer today than we were when this happened.
It would have been quite different if not for a simple change of plans. After the graduation ceremony, Stacy was supposed to join a group of friends for an all-night party in nearby Branson, Missouri. But Stacy decided to stay in town and spend the night at Susie's house. The next day, when Stacy's family tried to get in touch with her, there was no answer. The Springfield police were called to the Streeter house, to the scene of the most baffling crime in the history of this small Midwestern town.
When you first showed up at the Streeter house, describe for me what you saw at the crime scene.
All three cars were there at the house, those owned by Susie, Stacy, and Cheryl. When we went into the house, there were three purses that were owned by those three people. The beds were unmade as if they'd slept in them.
The television set was still on. A Venetian blind was open as if someone had taken a look outside. The front door was unlocked. The porch light had been broken. The fact that Cheryl, a notorious chain smoker, had left her cigarettes behind indicated to police the possibility of foul play. While search crews combed the area, Stacy's parents made this televised plea.
Stacy, call home. Call home and let us know that you're okay.
But Stacy never called. The case remains wide open.
Sergeant, isn't that odd for three people to be missing and there be no clues?
It's very odd that three people would just vanish and we don't have a lead to follow that would lead us in the direction that we need to go.
Enter Dorothy Allison, who agrees to step into a case that has stumped several other psychic detectives. Dorothy is undaunted by the fact that so many people believe this case is unsolvable.
What kind of things are you hoping that Dorothy will be able to come up with? The most important thing would be to find where Stacy is. If she's alive, where she is. If she's not alive, then we need to be able to put it to rest. So I need to find her remains.
Hi there,
I'm Dorothy Allison.
Dorothy's psychic impressions in this case come quickly. Before her arrival, she had envisioned many undisclosed details about the case and provides Sergeant Smith with a specific list of clues. The news is not good.
These are the things that people see when they're in a car. They're wondering where they're going before they reach their awful destination, where they are murdered, because I believe they're murdered. I do not believe they're alive.
Dorothy has made just one request of the McCall family. Dorothy, you asked for something of Stacy's, and the family has given me her keys.
Very good.
And also a ring.
Okay. That's both good.
So what will you use those for?
I will hold them and try to get some feelings from her by holding it.
After her initial visit to the Springfield Police Department, Dorothy asked to be escorted to the scene of the crime. From here, she begins to look for the locations and landmarks on her list, hoping they'll lead her to the three missing women.
Oh, I know they passed this way.
Her psychic list is remarkably accurate. We passed a chemical plant, a trailer park, and a nightclub. But traveling to the gymnastics center where Stacy worked, Dorothy gets her strongest psychic feeling.
This I use as my base as to where to look for them. And I would go and find a thick wooded area from here to find them.
What in your tummy tells you that this is right?
It's just a feeling. I wrote down all the clues that I could find. And every clue, one led into the other, as you noticed today.
What Dorothy didn't know is that Sergeant Smith had only recently received a tip from a railroad engineer who'd spotted something suspicious in these nearby woods.
He thought he saw a gravesite, and I sent a couple of detectives out to look at it a couple days ago.
Less than a quarter of a mile from the woods, Dorothy found the Ramada Inn she had written on her list.
Right up there. Yes, so we're on the right track.
There was also mention of a royal or theatrical name on the list. The road running along the wooded area, Royal Drive.
I also saw some old cars, which I see up on the hill there. I feel this is the exact road he took.
And on this cold, rainy day, on the actual site where Sergeant Smith is due to search, Dorothy becomes adamant.
I really feel this place should be searched. I really do.
The search turns up nothing, but this does not deter Dorothy. She knows this site is significant and believes more of her psychic clues need to be followed up.
I was a little shocked to see some names and things that I recognized. Probably the police are going to take their own time and check out everything one item at a time.
In the meantime, the McCalls have begun a support group called One Missing Link, dedicated to helping others who have missing loved ones. It's their way of making something positive out of a tragic...
Corporate CEOs' salaries are hitting all-time highs.
Link, they have helped more than 20...
The Southwestern Bell Yellow Pages are now available in color. Swabibs, where people get what they want. Swabibs, where people get what they want. Swabibs, where people get what they want.
In the spring, you gave flowers to your mother on Mother's Day, and you donated blood to the community. In the summer, you gave your family a vacation, and you found time to donate blood. In the fall, you gave thanks for all your blessings. Cancer and leukemia patients gave thanks to you because you donated blood. In the winter, you gave presents to your family and once again donated the gift of life. 4 ways to remember. Life is precious. Donate blood again. Be a 4-season donor at the Meade Community Blood Bank.
Oh. Is this for me?
Let's give that back to Santa.
Not so fast. I've added a few things to my list.
New Long John Silver's country-style popcorn shrimp. Bite-sized shrimp with fries, just $1.99.
Okay, kid. Hand over the shrimp.
One more thing. On deck, you're on deck.
Just hit it.
Right now, collect a holiday crystal for just 99 cents each.
Next time on Star Trek, The Next Generation. A shocking secret torments an orphan child.
Injuries so severe, they might be considered torture.
Only Captain Picard can protect him from a violent father.
If he is not aboard the Khmer in 5 minutes.
Threats could lead to war. Vengeance could end in tragedy. On the next exciting episode of Star Trek, The Next Generation.
Monday at 4 on channels 9 and 3.
Here are some of the stories Sightings is following in the news. In China, Bigfoot has a bounty on his or her head. The Chinese government is offering $60,000 to the first person who can bring one in alive. In China, the largest scientific expedition ever mounted to search for Bigfoot has been called to a halt after only 2 months. According to researchers, no significant signs of the elusive creature known as Shay Ren have been found. But the failure of the expedition has not lessened popular interest in finding Shay Ren. In the past 70 years, there have been more than 114 Shay Ren sightings by 360 eyewitnesses. Although researchers downplay its significance, the official expedition did turn up hair samples of unknown origin in the Shendonzia Forest Reserve in central China. Bolstered by this tantalizing finding, the park is keeping independent Shay Ren research alive by offering a monetary incentive to would-be Bigfoot hunters. It's a bounty, the equivalent of $60,000 if you bring one in alive, $6,000 dead, or even $1,200 for authenticated droppings. In California, at the Loma Linda University Medical Center, researchers have scientifically proven the curative power of laughter. Patients who were given a steady diet of comedy had a 20% increase in the number of natural killer cells in their bodies, cells that fight disease. Psychiatrist William Fry was part of the research team.
Your heart rate, as soon as you start laughing, immediately increases. What happens then is your heart rate increases, the blood pressure goes up. And as a consequence, all the nutrients and the beneficial factors in the blood are distributed much more effectively to the rest of the body.
The study also found that laughter can cut the level of stress-producing hormone by half and increase the level of immune system hormone, gamma interferon.
And those are all important aspects of the healing process. You don't just get healed by a medicine. In other words, we're looking at laughter as a way of helping people heal themselves.
The ongoing study confirms the age-old adage, laughter is the best medicine.
And that is that humor is contagious, laughter is infectious, and both are good for your health.
I'll sue you for this. Oh, superstitious, eh? Oh, my...
In San Diego, the Interstellar Propulsion Society is a new organization of rocket scientists whose goal is inspired by science fiction to go where no man has gone before.
Star Trek provides a wonderful inspirational image of how we might one day travel to stars. First, we have to answer the question, can we and how can we?
Millis is an aerospace engineer who believes that future space transports must exceed the speed of light, and that in order to do so, they must have an entirely new system of propulsion. Our most advanced rocket today would take 900 years just to reach the nearest star, with a fuel tank the size of 10 rail cars.
So we have to find some means of propulsion that requires no propellant whatsoever, presumably some coupling between gravity, electromagnetism, and space-time, so that you can push against the very structure of space-time itself instead of needing all that propellant.
One propulsion theory holds that the speed of light barrier can be broken if space-time can be shortened to faster intervals, what most people know as warp speed. Millis hopes warp speed will be achieved in his lifetime.
It would be foolish to say, let's never go. Man has always explored in some fashion, whether it's for monetary gain or for some reason, but nonetheless, we've always explored. So why stop at our heavens?
We'll have more stories from the news next time. Now, here's what's coming up on Sightings.
To this day, no one has been able to explain the mysterious woman in black who saved Bob Davidson's life 15 years ago.
It's an outright miracle.
Later, why all crop circles can't be explained as hoaxes.
Let's face it, fire's the only way to cook a burger.
It's true.
Like you're stranded on a desert island. What do you want with you, a frying pan or a hibachi?
You gotta go hibachi.
It's no contest.
The great-tasting flame-broiled Whopper, just $2.99 with fries and a drink at Burger King.
Hi, Alex. Oh, nice cold. Oh, the pressure. Even my sinuses hurt.
Comes with the territory. You know, when you have a cold, it isn't always just up here. Sinuses can get congested, too. Well, that's why there's Advil Cold and Sinus. Doctors like its ingredients. One for aches, fever, sore throat pain. Another for sinus.
forget your Wrigley spearmint.
This is steel wool on a typical scratch-resistant lens, and this is a Dura lens. No other plastic lens is more scratch-resistant. Great. Only LensCrafters has them, and even these will be ready in about an hour.
It's a nice fit. New Duralens, only at LensCrafters.
How fast does maximum strength Ambisol start to relieve cold and canker sore pain? Before you can say,
Ambisol.
get maximum strength relief from minor mouth pain on contact. Maximum strength Ambisol. Put it on. The pain is gone.
Pillsbury introduces a hot, fresh cookie with such giant hunks of real chocolate. Only one word can describe it. Chunky.
Who you calling Chunky?
Pillsbury chocolate chunk cookies.
Good answer.
According to a recent Time magazine survey, more than 1 in 3 Americans admit that they have felt an angelic presence in their lives. It's most often described as a feeling or private vision of a brilliant, loving being. Rarely do these angels take on a solid form that can be seen by others, but when they do, as was the case for Bob Davidson, miracles very often follow. Bob Davidson is a quiet man, given to reflection about his life as a husband, a father, a volunteer firefighter, and the moment that transformed his life.
I don't know what happened here on this stretch of highway 15 years ago, but it definitely was a miracle.
In the late 70s, Bob Davidson was at a personal crossroads. His career was off the track. Bob's father died unexpectedly and left behind only memories and his old wristwatch. At the same time, Bob's relationship with his daughter, Dory, was crumbling.
We didn't get along. A teenage daughter and a father, you know, we had our differences.
Bob had lost sight of what he wanted and what was important. On June 28, 1980, Bob decided to take a break from it all. He took off on his motorcycle and left his hometown of Mansfield, Ohio behind.
Being 7 months pregnant, for months I had dreams that something happened to Dad. I had a feeling that Dad wasn't going to be there to see my baby born.
In fact, Bob never did complete that ride. Near Indianapolis, a rainstorm forced Bob to pull off the road.
When you're doing 60 miles an hour, a raindrop feels pretty stingy on your arms when it hits.
Near the town of Acton, Indiana, Bob stopped to put on his rain gear. But the moment his foot hit the pavement, something horrible happened.
Maybe it was that weird stuff, you got to be at the right place at the right time, and I was supposed to get struck by lightning.
In a single instant, more than 1 million volts was several minutes before paramedics arrived.
I mean, when we got there, the man was gray. No sign of life whatsoever.
The paramedics called for a medical helicopter, but it couldn't take off in the torrential downpour. Attempts at CPR were failing.
When I got there and saw this man, where the lightning struck, it was actually smoldering. I mean, you can actually see it looked like steam coming out of the wound.
The stem on his father's watch had welded to the case. His shoes had blown off his feet. Bob had no pulse.
I think in the back of all firefighters' minds, you're saying a prayer.
Randy Nybert believes what happened next could only have been the answer to his prayers.
The ambulance was with a practically new vehicle, had power failure. Now, I don't mean just the lights went out on the ambulance. I mean, the ambulance went completely dead.
Out of the clear blue sky, a lady in black came in. She had a Bible in her hand. And I was in awe at this woman.
The medics at the scene recalled that the woman seemed to be from another era. She insisted on touching Bob and the ground at the same time.
That's when I said, you know, let her do what she has to do. Without even thinking about it, the words just came out of my mouth.
The woman in black began pounding Bob's chest with her Bible and speaking in a language the paramedics didn't understand. The emergency team watched in silence as the rain poured down on them all.
Even with the rain falling, everybody was soaked. She wasn't.
she was not remotely wet.
Then, the gray, limp body of the man with no pulse began to show signs of life.
She looked me right dead in the eyes and smiled. Not a word said. She stood up, walked around my sister, and walked away.
As suddenly and inexplicably as she'd come, the woman in black was gone. But the legacy of her visit remained.
It was almost like the sky was parting back. Everything was clearing up.
It's weird. His blood pressure started coming back up. They got a pulse on him. Color started coming back into him. And no one knows where this lady came from or where she went to. It is truly a miracle. There's no other words to describe it. It's an outright miracle.
But it would take more than one miracle to save Bob Davidson. He was in deep shock.
They didn't think he was going to make it through the first night, and then every day after that he made it, it was, you know, wow, this guy's still hanging on.
He was in a coma for 7 weeks, and it was during that time Bob believes he met his father.
I can still see him sitting under this tree, and it's the most beautiful place that you've ever seen. I have never seen any place like it on this earth.
And that makes you stop and think, well, was he there with him when Dad was in the coma and wasn't really there still?
Evidently, it must have been heaven or something to that effect. I know if that's the place you go when you die, I want to go there.
By all accounts, Bob Davidson should not be here right now. But he is. And the watch that his father left to him never stopped ticking. A reminder of the miracle that spared Bob's life and brought him back just in time to see his first grandchild born.
I named the baby after Dad. He's named after his grandpa.
But who was the mysterious woman in black? Sightings found a possible clue to her identity here at the Acton Heritage Museum.
Acton, having been a spiritual center for many years, perhaps some of that has held over.
What is now an empty field by a railroad crossing was once a religious retreat started by missionaries in 1859. It was a place for relaxation, worship, and reflection.
It was a generation that believed in, maybe more than we do now, in the spiritual powers.
But on a windy November day in 1905, a spark from the railroad ignited a terrible fire that destroyed Acton's spiritual center.
The fire went so quickly that they didn't have any real opportunity to stop it, although they tried.
Is there a connection between the woman in black and Acton's spiritual past? It's a question no one can answer, but consider this. Among the displays at the Acton Museum is a Bible and a turn-of-the-century dress identical to the one paramedics say an angel wore on June 28, 1980.
I would just like to walk along with her and tell her how much I appreciate what she did in giving me a second chance on life.
Bob Davidson wonders why he was visited by the mysterious stranger who seemed to save his life. Why was he spared when so many other innocent victims are left to die? It's a question he continues to try to answer every day.
Next, is 2012 the end of time or a new beginning? The answer from prophets old and new.
Ordinary space and time is going to disappear.
It's showtime in the big country, starring the all-new Showtime in the big country, starring the all-new 1996 Chevys and Geos. Come see the exciting new lineup of cars, trucks, and vans for $19.96. They're all sale priced and ready to roll during the Chevy Show at the Big Country Chevrolet dealers. All 13 dealerships are going all out to get you a great deal on a new 96 car, truck, or van. The 96 Chevys and Geos are in. Get yours today. The Chevy Show, now showing at a Big Country Chevrolet dealer near you.
Hey, sports fans, it's that time of year again when we hear the crashing of pads, helmets, and all the other sounds that say Friday night football is back. I can't think of a better way than to spend a Friday night with high school football. Join me, Steve Strain, every Friday, and I'll bring you the latest scores and highlights. Watch 9 News Night Beat and stay here to get the Point After.
The Point After is sponsored by Jack Leonard Irrigation in Abilene.
Giving has to be one of the very best
eating ice cream right out of the carton, or being on the receiving end of an unexpected kiss, or smelling a freshly mown lawn. When you support our United Way and help people in our community who really need it, I guarantee that'll be a very good feeling, too. And you won't even have to cut the grass to get it.
We all have something in common. We're all Big Brother volunteers.
By spending just a few hours a week with our little brothers, we're changing their lives.
We've become friends by sharing many activities.
The only problem is there are many more boys on a waiting list.
Change a child's life and your own by becoming a Big Brother.
Make a big difference in a boy's life. Call Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Abilene.
Do it today.
Get into a week of brand new, never before seen anywhere. Cops.
Unit code 4, both suspects in custody.
First up.
He stopped us at the corner and asked me if I wanted to ride. And he goes, do you want any money? How much? 100, 150?
A stranger propositions a teenage girl for sex.
We're going to have somebody come over and identify you, okay?
That's my wife right there.
Is that your wife?
Now he's got some serious explaining to do.
Yeah, that's him.
On an all-new Cops.
Mondays at 5 on Channels 9 and 3.
The mysterious 16th century prognosticator known as Nostradamus made several startlingly accurate predictions about the future. His revelations coincide with the equally accurate predictions of a little-known 12th century Catholic priest, Saint Malachi. Both futurists included in their writings suggestions of an apocalypse sometime near the year 2012.
Flood, war, famine, plague, anarchy, the end of the world. These are the apocalyptic visions of history's prophets of doom. The most famous of these mystics is the 16th century French writer Michel Nostradamus. He made over 1,000 prophecies before his death in 1566.
I believe the main reason why Nostradamus has been so popular is because he's been so successful.
Nostradamus accurately predicted the rise of Hitler, World War II, and the stock market crash of 1929. But one dire prophecy remains unfulfilled. Nostradamus writes that the head of the church will be taken prisoner, and his palace will go up in flames. Scholars have interpreted this to mean the dissolution of the Catholic Church. But Nostradamus was not the first seer to predict the end of the Pope and the Catholic Church. 400 years earlier, a little-known Irish priest named Malachi had an eerily similar vision.
He was on a pilgrimage to Rome in 1138 AD, and as he came over the final hill and saw Rome, he fell into an ecstatic trance, and his scribe wrote down these 3 to 4 word Latin phrases that came in sequence, about 112 phrases. It was later understood that each phrase stood for every pope, the current pope that lived at his time, Sistolinus II, till the final pope of Doomsday. That is 112 references. We are down to 2 more in the list of St. Malachi for Doomsday.
While Malachi was struck by ecstatic visions, Nostradamus claimed to see the future by staring into a chalice of water. Their methods differed, but the vision was the same. The end of the church would mean the end of the world, and the end of the world would come soon after the year 2000. It's a dire prediction and a date within our lifetime that has been embraced by modern-day mystics.
I mean a great change. I don't mean the 5-cent cigar or Medicare reform. I mean ordinary space and time is going to disappear.
Terence McKenna is an author and explorer who lives on the big island of Hawaii, where he awaits what he believes will be the end of the world as we know it. For McKenna and hundreds of people who have come to embrace his apocalyptic warning, the doomsday clock will run out on a very specific date.
I predict the most novel event in the history of the world in 2012. And for a conservative mind, that might look like doomsday, but it isn't doomsday. It's simply that we are moving deeper and deeper into uncharted territory, novel territory, and that's frightening to some people and exhilarating to others.
While McKenna's message is much like that of Malachi and Nostradamus, his medium is decidedly 21st century. McKenna's crystal ball is a personal computer running software of his own design called Timewave Zero.
I believe that we have in fact discovered the structure of time itself.
McKenna developed Timewave Zero in 1970 after studying the ancient Chinese fortune-telling system known as the I Ching.
And out of that came a mathematical algorithm that obviously wanted to be a calendar. And when I looked at it as a calendar, I saw that it described the ebb and flow of change in history.
When McKenna placed the I Ching's pattern of peaks and valleys over the timeline of history, he made a startling discovery. When the I Ching system dipped, so did the fortunes of the planet.
Here, 1356, the Black Death, a third of the population of Europe, dies. And here, the culmination of the Italian Renaissance in 1492 with the discovery of the New World. Over here, the American and the French Revolutions. Here's World War II, and here's us.
Because his computer system provides a remarkably accurate picture of the past, McKenna is confident it will prove to be an accurate picture of the future as well.
So the predictions of the past give us confidence that what it's saying about the future will also turn out to be true.
On December 21st, 2012, the time wave dips off the chart and into infinity. McKenna does not know what will occur on that date, only that it will be the most significant point in human history.
One of my guesses is that what we will discover in 2012 that will make this true is time travel. If technologies that could move through time were developed around that time, it would explain why the wave could no longer give a linear description of the unfolding of events, because the unfolding of events would go non-linear at that point.
Nearly 500 years ago, Nostradamus predicted similar changes in the time-space continuum that would occur soon after the year 2000.
He sees a change in mankind, a new humanity, a new culture that ultimately leads to the human race leaving the planet Earth. They're living in the planets of the constellations Cancer and Aquarius. So when you look up tonight at the sky and you see the stars of the Aquarius constellation, you're seeing the future of humanity.
While many of his dire predictions have come true, Nostradamus never claimed his prophecies were irreversible. In fact, he once wrote, "The one who is reasonable can learn from my prophecies how to find the right path."
Next, if you think crop circles are fake, listen to this man.
We have seen a whole new family, a whole new range, and complexity of the patterns themselves.
I'm Dave Clark. I'm a big eater. Now tell the court where you were for lunch Tuesday. I was eating a Wendy's Big Bacon Classic combo. You know, quarter pound of fresh beef, 3 strips of bacon, cheese, toppings, biggie fries, and a drink.
Sounds like a big meal. Did you finish it?
Every bite.
Really?
Well, liar. Liar. The court. Isn't it true it was too big for you? It was too big.
Get off the stand.
Wendy's Big Bacon Classic Combo is only for big eaters.
It was too big.
Don't let this happen to you.
No batter, no batter, no batter, no batter. No stick. The wing batter. Home baby, home baby.
Your next meal might be some time off. Remember, nothing satisfies like Snickers. Hungry? Why wait?
That's all right.
Ooh, okay, it's a little, whoa, short. So what's wrong with short? He's short. I like short. When you're working for a special look. Hey, it's our anniversary. Oh, why not? Part of getting that look should include Kellogg's Special K. Big boy, he can take it. Great toasted taste, just 110 calories, and fat-free. Kellogg's Special K. Great taste never looks so good. It's funny.
Nacho, nacho man, yeah. I've got to be a nacho man. Got to be a nacho, nacho man. I've got to be a nacho man. Always so popular, always in demand.
Hey, just add Old El Paso to Old El Paso, top, and 3 minutes later, you're a
Nacho, nacho, nacho man.
Old El Paso, where it's easy to be nacho.
My dandruff itches. I'll try anything. Denorex feels tingly, not the Head and Shoulders.
Both have effective dandruff medicine, but Denorex has something extra that tingles, feels fresh.
That's why I started using Denorex. No flakes, no itch.
Denorex, the serious dandruff shampoo.
Recent revelations that hundreds of English crop circles are the work of sophisticated hoaxers has damaged the reputation of dedicated researchers. But these cereologists are undaunted by the controversy. By studying the hoaxed crop circles, they've learned the tricks of the trade. The fakes, they say, have made it easier for them to separate the wheat from the chaff.
I think hoaxers have taught us all a lesson. They have shown that you can back-engineer many of the features, but you cannot back-engineer all of them.
Crop circle researcher Colin Andrews is one of just a handful of full-time investigators determined to discover the source of these beautiful, enigmatic patterns appearing in crop fields from England to Australia.
We have looked at the techniques employed by hoaxers. We have, in fact, hoaxed them ourselves. But what happens every time, of course, is that there is evidence that you've been there. With the genuine phenomena, the fingerprint of the spiral, that is the number of revolutions the spirals take from the center of the vortex to completion of the circumference, is also different. And the plants are changed at the cellular, anatomical level. This is a field of oilseed rape. It's a very brittle plant. By the lightest touch of the finger, you'll see the bruising that occurs on this. I've removed the hue from the plant, and the damage is evident for everybody to see. Well, if that plant, being in the upright position, as the thousands of them are in this field, received the energy of the crop circle constructor, whoever or whatever that is, this is what would happen. I mean, here's the plant being bent over beyond 45 degrees, down to the horizontal, and snap. We would immediately establish that a circle has been hoaxed by the fact that the plant will knuckle or snap off, just like carrots or celery. In the genuine phenomena, they bend over evenly, they're undamaged, and it is as if a steaming effect has occurred.
Andrews, an electrical engineer by trade, first became interested in the crop circle phenomenon in 1983. He was driving to work one morning when a strange pattern in a wheat field caught his eye.
I saw 5 circles forming a cross in a field below me, and it was absolutely fascinating. I'd not seen or heard anything like this before. The engineer in me was calling already what actually formed this.
Although crop circles have been sighted worldwide, more than 90% of the world's total have been found in southern England, within 40 miles of this circle, Stonehenge. Earlier this year, Sightings provided Colin Andrews with a high-8 camera to keep an ongoing record of new crop circle activity occurring in this region.
This is pretty much a typical day in the life of a crop circle researcher, responding to calls from farmers, police, that a circle has been discovered in a field. It certainly starts at first thing in the morning, responding to those calls, and to get up in the aircraft looking for the patterns wherever they might be. John, where I think we would certainly like to get is north of Andover. This year is only the second year in 12 years that has seen a downward curve, but an increase in complexity of the patterns themselves. We have seen a whole new family, a whole new range of patterns. Many of them resemble galaxies, a series of circles and rings, rotating as if they are circumventing a central feature. As you tick off the list of possibilities, you get closer and closer to being obliged to consider that something external, something which is intelligent, is actually placing them there.
Simply considering the possibility that crop circles are the result of non-human intervention has made Andrews and other cereologists pariahs in the scientific community.
I think some of the media have put a funny tag on the subject, and the fact that I am now publicly saying that I believe there is intelligence involved here has, I think, further distanced my professional colleagues from me. So it is very much a lonely life out here.
And while Andrews could once count on farmers for free access to their fields, now the farmers have had a change of heart.
This year, the National Farmers Union in Great Britain have offered £1,000 for information leading to the very first arrest of those people who are making some of these crop circles. So the attitude certainly has firmed up. A number of farmers have become really actually quite aggressive and have now refused entry to many of the researchers like myself to actually conduct any work whatsoever on their land.
Despite irate farmers, mischievous hoaxers, and a skeptical public, Colin Andrews perseveres because he believes the answer to the crop circle mystery is within his grasp.
The research, I think, is reaching its final stages. We do have evidence that a phenomena exists. We have some idea as to whereabouts in the electromagnetic spectrum the energy is coming from. I think what we are left with now is to put into position at the primary places we now know they're going to arrive a very, very sophisticated surveillance operation. And we have to record on high-quality, television-quality footage the crop circle makers.
The serious study of crop circles is a classic catch-22. To prove that some crop circles are formed by supernatural forces, researchers like Colin Andrews need scientists to conduct controlled studies. But scientists won't do these studies until it's proven that the crop circle phenomenon is not a hoax.
Every 15 minutes, another new Chevy is sold in the big country. That's because Chevy gives you more of the features you want at prices you can afford. And now the 96 Chevys and Geos are here, loaded with more safety, more features, and more value. These are some of our biggest shipments of new vehicles ever, and we gotta move them. Get a great deal on a new Chevy or Geo today, and bring your trade-in, whether it's paid for or not. If you're thinking about buying a 96, there's only one place you need to go, a big country Chevrolet dealer.
Heating equipment is a major source of fires. In 1994, there were nearly 1,700 fires attributed to heating equipment in the state of Texas. What can be done to stop these fires? Have your heating unit serviced before using. And when using a space heater, keep all flammable materials at least 3 feet away. Remember, give space heaters space, be fire smart, and don't make an ass of yourself.
For safety's sake, this has been a community service of KRBC TV9 and members of the Public Safety Advisory Committee.
Before you take off, don't forget to buckle down.
In the spring, you gave flowers to your mother on Mother's Day, and you donated blood to the community. In the summer, you gave your family a vacation, and you found time to donate blood. In the fall, you gave thanks for all your blessings. Cancer and leukemia patients gave thanks to you because you donated blood. In the winter, you gave presents to your family and once again donated the gift of life. 4 ways to remember. Life is precious. Donate blood again. Be a 4-season donor at the Meek Community Blood Bank.
Can one woman possess special powers to heal the sick?
She knows everything about you, the present, the past, and the future.
Modern medicine failed to help a little boy walk. His parents believe she cured him with a touch.
He was so strong.
The miracle healer. Then
It appeared to be a boomerang shape.
Can't believe it.
explore a Colorado family's unexplainable UFO video. You may become a believer. Next time on Sightings.
This is Jergens body shampoo, and this is the sponge. Just a little squeeze. There's so much lather. It tingles. It feels fantastic. Jergens body shampoo.
For dry eyes, red eyes, Clear Eyes not only removes redness, it has an ingredient to moisturize, too. Clear Eyes.
Hey, Remington, shave dead.
The Remington Triple Foil, the only shaver with 3 micro streams, now has a 50% greater cutting rate. If you can grow it, we can shave it.
If you've had a paranormal experience, contact Sightings at 1-900-933-7444. Sightings can also be contacted at America Online at keyword Sightings. Next week, download UFO video clips of a cigar-shaped craft sighted recently over Salida, Colorado.
Until next time, remember, no mystery is closed to an open mind. For Sightings, I'm Tim White.